Hey everyone, today I'm going to take a closer look at how the progressive era, especially under President Theodore Roosevelt, his actions still shape the world as we live today. Whether you realize it or not, many of the political processes and economic protections and social policies we benefit from today were born from that very point in time in American history. But to start off politically, one of the biggest changes that the progressives pushed for was more direct democracy. During Roosevelt's time, there was a major movement to give every citizen, more of a voice. The initiative, the referendum, the recall processes that many states still use today, where voters can propose or repeal laws or even remove officials, came from this very era. Another big shift was the adoption of the primary elections. Before this, party leaders often chose candidates behind closed doors, but thanks to the progressive push and for transparency, now primary elections are now a standard part of our political system. Now moving forward to economically, Theodore Roosevelt was well known as the original, what is it called, trust buster. He challenged giant monopolies like Northern Securities and set the tone for antitrust enforcements that we see today, especially with modern efforts to regulate big tech. But he also pushed through the Pure Food and Drug Act and Meat Inspection Act in 1906, creating a foundation for today's FDA and food safety standards. Every time you check at a nutrition label or trust and medicine safety procedure or caution warnings, you'll see, you're basically seeing progressive reforms, from those times and now, which still carries over to today. On a social level, Roosevelt's Square Deal focused on fairness for workers and consumers. When he intervened in the 1902 coal strike, it set a precedent for the government to step in during those labor disputes. This laid the groundwork for institutes, like the National Labor Relations Board and the laws protection union rights that we have today. Roosevelt was also big on the environment. Roosevelt helped create national parks, forests, and monuments. Over 230 million acres of land are protected here in the States. So his legacy continues through these National Park Service and modern environmental policies. The idea that the government should protect natural resources for the public good came straight from, the specific progressive mindset. So why have these forms lasted this long? Because, they respond to the real reoccurring problems that we still deal with today. Unchecked corporate power, lack of political voice, worker exploitation, and the environmental destruction. So Roosevelt and the progressives, created lasting institutions and values that still guide us to this day and continue to work on. And I see it moving forward that we're going to continue to work on these things. Because there's always powers that be that want to do the opposite and are greedy. And these boundaries need to be set. But overall, the progressive era didn't just, fix short-term problems. It redefined what American democracy could be, and it echoes all around us, day in and day out. So, but that's all I have for today. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Later.